You know that feeling when you're staring down a massive, outdated couch or a completely broken refrigerator after a big renovation, and you're just dreading the sheer hassle of figuring out how to get rid of it? Yeah, we've literally all been there. It is a universal headache for sure. But what if I told you that getting rid of large junk in Long Beach doesn't actually have to be a nightmare? Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are going to completely demystify and navigate the process of bulk trash pickup in Long Beach. We're going to save you time, money, and maybe even save you a strained back.
Okay, let's dive into our roadmap for today. We'll be looking at 1. The bulk trash problem. 2. Free city pickups. 3. Rules and preparation. 4. Paid same-day alternatives. 5. Drop-offs and hazardous waste. And finally, 6. Keeping Long Beach clean. Let's get right into it.
Starting us off, Section 1. The bulk trash problem. Tackling clutter. Because whether you are moving, doing a massive spring clean-out, or just wrapping up a DIY project, clutter builds up incredibly fast.
Just imagine that frustration for a second. You have this oversized junk, it's just staring at you, and you want it gone like yesterday. It could be super tempting to just drag it out to the alley in the dead of night and make it somebody else's problem, right? But before you do that, it is absolutely crucial to understand the very real impact of illegal dumping.
Just to give you a sense of the scale here, check out this number, 18,000. That is the staggering number of mattresses illegally dumped in Long Beach every single year. I mean, wow. It is a massive logistical nightmare for the city.
And those dumped items? They are incredibly problematic. It's not just that they're a huge eyesore. Illegally dumped mattresses and furniture become instant breeding grounds for pests like rats and insects. Gross, right? Plus, when those mattresses decompose in landfills, they actually release methane, which is a greenhouse gas significantly more harmful than carbon dioxide. It also heavily strains the city's clean team, who literally have to divert resources from other critical services just to haul this stuff away. And if all of that isn't enough to stop you, code violations carry steep penalties. Depending on the offense, you could be looking at a fine ranging from $50 to $500 per violation. Ouch!
Which brings us to Section 2, Free City Pickups, Municipal Disposal. Before you risk a $500 fine, you absolutely need to know about the incredible municipal disposal program the City of Long Beach offers to its residents.
The magic number here is 12. Historically, the city used to limit households to just 2, maybe 4 special collections a year. But now, qualifying city-serviced refuse accounts get up to 12 free special collections per calendar year. That is a massive upgrade. It completely lowers the barrier to just doing things the right way.
And the scheduling is actually super simple. First up, you just verify your service status and your normal collection day using the city's online Map It application. Second, you request a pickup. You can do this online at the Long Beach Recycles website or by calling 562-570-2876. Now, during this step, you've got to provide a precise list of the exact items you need collected. Third, just wait for a rep to contact you by phone to confirm your exact collection date. So, the really crucial point here is this. Crews will only retrieve the items you specifically recorded on that work order. Any unauthorized extras you just leave at the curb, they're going to get bypassed.
Now, I want to clarify a very common point of confusion. The city has this great mobile tool called the Go Long Beach app. But listen up. This app is for reporting illegal dumping on public property. Like, say, an abandoned couch you see in an alley. It alerts the clean team to a hazard. It is not a backdoor way to schedule your own personal property disposal. Using the app to dump your personal bulky items in an alley and then reporting them as dumped is a code violation. Always use the formal special collection portal for your own items.
All right, moving to Section 3, Rules and Preparation, Getting Ready for Pickup. You've made your appointment, but to make sure your items are actually collected, you have to play by the rules.
Here's a quick rundown of what you can confidently set out. Furniture is accepted, generally up to 72 by 48 inches. You can put out appliances, TVs, and e-waste, though, quick note, those do require specialized trucks, so keep them physically separated from your furniture. You can bundle tree branches, but they got to be cut to 4 feet in length and weigh no more than 40 pounds. Passenger tires are totally fine too, up to 5 per pickup, as long as you take them off the rims. In total, you get up to 8 large items per scheduled pickup.
On the flip side, there are things the city simply will not take, no matter what. Hazardous waste is strictly prohibited from curbside collection. That includes your old paint, batteries, and motor oil. Construction and demolition debris, stuff like concrete, rocks, asphalt, and drywall, that's an absolute no-go for standard residential trucks. You also can't leave out commercial truck tires or unwrapped glass and mirrors. If you have glass, it must be completely encased in heavy-duty cardboard or thick plastic to prevent shattering.
Speaking of safety,
Notice the heavy tape wrapping the refrigerator here. This shows just how strictly the city prioritizes neighborhood safety. If you are getting rid of big appliances like refrigerators or freezers, you cannot just drag them out as is. By rule, you must completely remove the doors or securely tape them shut. This prevents the incredibly tragic possibility of a child climbing inside and getting trapped. It's absolutely crucial.
When it actually comes to the day of your pickup, timing and placement are everything. You must have your items placed at your normal weekly collection location, so either the curb or the alley, by 6 a.m. on your confirmed day. But please, do not set them out before your scheduled day. Also, you've got to leave a 2-foot clearance around the items so the mechanical loaders can do their thing. And remember, due to insurance liabilities, city crews literally cannot enter your private property to grab your items. They have to be out on the public right-of-way.
Section 4. Paid alternatives. Same-day solutions. So what happens if you've already burned through your 12 free pickups? Or maybe you have prohibited construction debris, or you just simply can't wait the 1 to 2 weeks it typically takes to get a city appointment. Well, that's exactly where paid alternatives come in. Let's do a quick side-by-side comparison of the free city service against modern paid alternatives, using a service like DropCurb as an example. While the city program is fantastic because, hey, it's free, it does come with strict limits and that 1 to 2 week waiting period. A service like DropCurb, on the other hand, offers same-day pickup. It starts at a flat $79 for the first item, and the best part? You aren't restricted by annual limits, size caps, or the need to separate construction debris from your regular junk. You also have a couple of other traditional paid options out there. Renting a dumpster usually runs between $250 and $500. It's a great option for high-volume jobs over several days, but you do all the heavy lifting yourself, and you might even need a city encroachment permit just to park it on the street. Alternatively, traditional junk removal crews generally run between $200 and $800. They'll do the heavy lifting for you, but they often use really unpredictable volume-based pricing and usually require an in-person estimate. So it really just comes down to your budget, your timeline, and honestly, how much physical effort you want to put in.
All right, Section 5, drop-offs and hazmat, special facilities. Let's take a look at local centers specifically designed for materials that just cannot go to the curb.
If you have an old mattress or box spring and a way to transport it, the city has a phenomenal, completely free resource for you. Long Beach residents can use the 24/7 mattress drop-off program located at 970 Westchester Place. You can literally drop off a used mattress any time of day or night, totally free of charge. And the coolest part? The city then sends these to a recycling facility where 75% of the material is repurposed into things like carpet padding. How great is that? Now for all those hazardous items we talked about earlier, the old paints, the dead batteries, those harsh household chemicals, you need to take those to the EDCO facility in Signal Hill, right at 2755 California Avenue. They host free household hazardous waste disposal for residents on the 2nd and 4th Saturday of each month, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Please never, ever dump these chemicals down the drain or just toss them in a normal trash bin.
Let's bring it all home with Section 6, keeping Long Beach clean, community impact. Let's look at why going through these proper channels actually matters so much. I really love this quote from the Long Beach Business Journal. It says, "People that live in Long Beach, they have pride in their community, so they don't want to see the environment being fouled up." And it's so true. By taking just a few extra minutes to schedule a special collection or driving to a drop-off center, you are actively protecting the local environment. You're preventing toxic chemicals from leaching into the soil, you're stopping harmful greenhouse gases, and you're ensuring our streets stay clean and welcoming for everyone.
Just a quick heads up, of course, municipal guidelines, service structures, and fees can and do evolve. What we've covered in this explainer today is based on current city protocols, but it's always a good idea to double-check the latest details at longbeach.gov/lbrecycles before you go hauling your items out to the curb.
So we've covered a lot of ground today, right? From maximizing those 12 free city pickups to exploring same-day paid hauls and checking out vital drop-off centers. So I want to leave you with this final thought. When it's time to finally clear out that clutter, will you be the neighbor who steps up to revitalize the community or the one risking a $500 fine? The resources are right at your fingertips. What's your next step? Thanks so much for joining this explainer and happy cleaning.